What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to talk about The Strangers Chapter 1, the horror film that has recently come out, starring Madeline Petch, aka Cheryl Blossom, as I call her, from Riverdale. And before you even ask, before you worry, yes, of course, we got a Bev. Of course, we have a Bev. Guys, Strangers Chapter 1. It's a good movie, like surprisingly good. So Rennie Harlin was the director of this. He did Die Hard 2 and a variety of different genre movies over the years. Like every single franchise he touched it at some point. Like Nightmare on Elm Street 4, just to give some examples here. And I know he did a couple other films in the horror realm as well, which I've seen none of them. But The Strangers Chapter 1 is an effective movie, guys. It's a home invasion, as you probably know, a home invasion story about a couple who their car breaks down and they end up staying in this they stay overnight in an Airbnb in the middle of hillbilly town, in the middle of nowhere. I liked how the movie opens up with them driving, and then they go and then there's like the titles, there's like text that opens this movie that's hilarious. It's like every it's like every year in America there's 1.6 million violent crimes. And then they're like, one every 26 seconds. That means 7 since you've been watching this movie. And like, it was fucking funny. And then and then they go somewhere in Oklahoma, or no, somewhere it's in Oregon. They go somewhere in Oregon. And then their car's driving on the road, and then immediately the car drives by this sign that's like, welcome to Venus, Oregon. It's like, well, like, I guess it's in Venus, Oregon, apparently the titles of the movie couldn't figure it out, but they are in a town. And anyway, they get to the place. The car's broke. They go and stop for food. The car breaks down. You can't tell if it's maybe a scam by the mechanic or something. But anyway, there's all these hillbillies. They're mad at the city slicking couple, Cheryl Blossom and her boyfriend. Hillbillies are mad because the city slickers are there. They're mad at the boyfriend because he didn't propose to her after they've been dating for 5 years. Like when she said they were dating for 5 years in the diner, everyone was like, "What are you doing, boy?" And then because it just did not align with their small town values. So everyone's mad. Car breaks down. They stay the night in the one Airbnb in the town. There's like one girl being nice to them, but who knows? It's all sus. But you know what's going to happen. The masked people are going to show up and try to kill them at this Airbnb where they're staying. And that's the part that's good, because I will tell you the interesting thing about The Strangers is, at least this movie, The Strangers Chapter 1 from 2024. I'm not talking about the 2008 one, which I actually haven't seen. I am going to go watch that one. But The Strangers Chapter 1, the entire movie is just one single scene. And for that, I have to give it credit. They maintained the suspense for the whole thing. I mean, from the time that they settle into that house, and even before that, from the time they get to the town, right? But that it's just one night in the house, them two in the Airbnb. Tension's there from the start. They do a great job. I mean, they show a surprising amount of restraint in this movie. Like for a slasher film, the violence is very limited, and it's too later in the movie. But it's actually not disappointing. I went into this movie hoping for gore. Did not get a lot of gore, but I got some effective violence, and it's because they really draw it out. They really make you wait. Really make you wait for it, and the tension is there the whole time. Like, I'm talking about a slow build, but a good build. Like, just people outside the house, people inside the house, people playing piano. The tension is building and building. Cheryl Blossom is there alone drinking a Budweiser. The movie's like practically a Budweiser ad, but she's drinking a Budweiser. She's lighting up a joint, and she's taking a shower. I mean, so first of all, her husband leaves for like 20 minutes to go into the town, and she's home alone for like 4 hours, which, I don't know how that the timing of that worked out, but it's great because it gives us like a lot of tension. She's there just like listening to the records, which also this Airbnb is loaded up with an incredible record collection that we can just tap into throughout the movie. I mean, they play records, the strangers, the masked people play records. Everybody is just, you know, pulling out the vinyl. Everyone's having a good time. But yeah, one sustained sequence of tension, and for that I like it. For that I liked it. There's one moment that was particularly effective. The one moment, as I said, it's not a movie to go to for gore, but it is effective as a horror. But there's one moment of violence that was effective when a character there just casually, accidentally, sticks their hand, impales their hand on a nail that just happens to be on the ground. And that scene was like, ooh, because it just happens so casually. It just slides in there, and you're like, ah. But so that was good. As I said, one scene of tension. I give them credit. It was an effective movie. We have, so for our villains, we have the kind of seems like maybe the leader, the guy with like the burlap sack on his head, and then we have like two women that have the kind of old-fashioned doll masks going on, but we don't learn about them. They're strangers, right? And does the strangers in the title, is it referring to the bad guys or to the couple who's strangers in the town? I don't know, but the great thing about this movie it helps it above the other average horror films, which that's what this movie is competing against. This movie is competing against other average horror films, and it's winning because, first of all, attention, but also, yes, granted, this was just lifted from the original Strangers movie, but the fact that the crime is completely unexplained, it's good. It makes the whole movie this meditation on violence, on these horrific crimes. It's like the Zodiac killings, right? It's scary because you just have no idea, and we don't know these people's motive. We don't know what happens to them. It's just they come in, they attack the house, and then they leave. They leave before the police get there. And yes, there's going to be a chapter 2, a chapter 3, so maybe we'll find out more, but hopefully they don't specify too much, because the great thing about this is it is, it's just a violent crime with no explanation. Spooky. But yeah, solid movie. Obviously, plenty of silliness going on. I think Cheryl Blossom was really good. I think Madeline Petch was really good in the lead. I think her boyfriend was like questionable, but at the end, as the movie went on, when he kind of had to for the movie to work, he kind of had to be this weak, he kind of had to like show some more weakness. He definitely played the weak part pretty well, but as a substantive guy, as a likable guy, I don't know what he was going for. I don't know if he was my favorite performance, but Madeline Petch was really good. And then, of course, they're like going back and forth about their relationship during it, like, oh, we're gonna get married, we're gonna blah blah blah. We know they're not getting married. We know they're not making it out of the night, at least probably. And so they've covered all their bases. They got the relationship stuff. They got the hillbilly stuff. They've got the home invasion. And that's the movie. And like I said, just to say it one more time, really slow. They do a slow build. But that doesn't mean boring. I don't mean slow as in boring. I just mean slow as in, like, you don't, like, see a lot of blood for a while. It's just more just, like, creepies coming around and, like, hitting an axe on the door, and then they run away. Like, nobody's getting, like, like, murdered until, like, later in the movie, right? But that makes it good. And they don't do anything to break it up. There's not like we're gonna throw in like a comedic scene to cut the tension. They don't do that. So I'm happy with it. Strangers Chapter 1. Enjoyed the movie. I would recommend going to see it if you like horror, if you like some suspense in a movie. Yeah, there's plenty of silliness. Yeah, it takes place in middle of nowhere, Oregon, or where, somewhere in Oregon. That actually it's specified. But it's good. I'm here with it. I'm here for it. Yeah. Does do people actually stay overnight in like sus towns when their car breaks down? Like, wouldn't I was kind of debating this with people. Like, I think AAA would be out there. I don't care how far it is. Like, you're not getting an Airbnb. Like, you're just staying there for a few hours, or whatever. Like, it's how middle of nowhere does it even get if you're like on the highway from from California to Seattle? I don't know. Anybody who's made that trip, I guess, could let me know. But yeah, I'm thinking AAA's getting out there. I don't think they're going to the Airbnb. But either way, a solid little movie. And thanks for watching, guys. I will see you in the next one.